Flame on! How's everybody doing today? I'm here with with my typical guest,
What's
Jared
up?
from Phoenix League. How you doing?
What's up?
And before we get started, yes, this is going to be another two-parter due to scheduling. And this is my first official video back on the channel. So to celebrate, this is going to be more laid back. We're still going to cover the main topic, but we're also going to cover some other stuff upcoming on the show as well. Starting with this is in the works. Bendis Point is in the works.
You
It's just
see, here's why it's taken us so long to get to that, because you'd be surprised how many factors at DC that are changed by Bendis not coming to DC.
yeah. I mean, not just so much in 5G, just everything within the past 7 years, including Wonder Comics. Like we had to really research for this one.
So it's like there's a lot of stuff we have to think about that's like affected.
But and just a quick recap before we get started. If you haven't already seen our Green Lantern episode, we're just going to give you a very quick recap, very quick. Basically, it does follow Green Lantern the animated series. Aya is captured, or at least her body is captured, and Waller outsmarts the Guardians.
That's so Waller, so
yeah, that's like a Tuesday. So, but if you want more detail, check out that last video, then come back to this one. So now, without further ado, let's talk about Joker's death.
So for those of you that don't know, real quick recap. Batman killed the Joker in our universe.
Pretty much. And the reason it comes to that, okay, basically imagine Injustice, you know, the nuke, the Kryptonian fear toxin cocktail, all of it. But where does he get the drugs? There's obviously a middleman that leads to this. Sure, you could argue Scarecrow, but why would Scarecrow go to of all people, go to Metropolis? He's the biggest scaredy cat, pun intended, out of all of Batman's rogues. He wouldn't do this. He wouldn't do this without having some kind of fail safe or contingency. Like, okay, I am screwed if I team up with Joker on this one. I need to have some contingent or get out of town. And more than likely, he's just going to kill me off as a loose end. So where's my leverage here? And here where it comes in. Poison Ivy uses her pheromones to coerce Scarecrow into giving her the fear toxin. And then where does get the kryptonite? Let's just say that Joker, that with Luthor trying to go straight to honor the fall of one Superman, she pretty much raids his one of his private bunkers where he keeps his kryptonite stash, which, let's be honest, is Poison Ivy. Most of the security detail are guys. It wouldn't be hard for her to get her way.
Nope, it wouldn't. It
wouldn't be hard. And but we know that as the readers, as we're seeing the story unfold. But the characters don't, including a particular Blondie. Harley never finds out about this till years later. So she never finds out about this. But to speed ahead, Joker pretty much has Lois. Well, yeah, let's say Lois, because even though Scion / New 52 Superman, by the way, a Scion Explained video will be out in the future. Even though Scion ultimately chose New 52 Wonder Woman, he still respects Convergence or pre-Flashpoint Lois. He still respects her as a sister and close friend.
Well, because remember, even in the regular New 52, he was still best friends with Lois. It wasn't like she was like out of his life.
No, he still cared for her. He just didn't pursue her romantically.
Which is the way DC should be, but that's besides the point.
Jared, we talked about this.
I had to.
But yeah, so she pretty much gets captured. And this experimentation pretty much leads to her, well, residually inheriting Superman's power, Kryptonian abilities. Because you pretty much, it's basically the pheromones, Doomsday, flying into space, and solar radiation. So you pretty much have solar radiation from being like right next to the sun, the kryptonite in her body, where she's the kryptonite fear toxin cocktail, and Superman pretty much flying her into the distance. The only difference is she doesn't flatline because the solar radiation interacts with the kryptonite, causing a chain reaction, thus giving her powers. That's the main reason she survives.
Mm-hmm.
So, am I taking a dig on Injustice? A bit, but this does prevent the nuke itself from going off. Like,
Well, we should make as many digs against injustice as humanly possible.
and the fear toxin, Superman going crazy. Damn thing should have gone off by now.
Nice, I love that.
Come on. Somehow this is your fault, Bats.
And then at that point, it's around this point that like Batman kills the Joker because again, the way that our Batman works is that he logically sees that okay, we keep putting Joker in prison, he keeps escaping and causing more deaths. At this point, it just has to stop.
I feel like we should still have a bit more gravity in the situation. That even though this was a very close call, New 52 Lois still ended up getting powers by proxy of kryptonite poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows what these Matrix powers could do to her? See what I did there?
Oh my gosh! So she's Matrix Superwoman? Is that what you're telling me? Oh jeez.
Oh man, I knew I was gonna have fun with this one, but
that's a hell of a deep cut, bro.
Deep cut. But yeah, like that's it. You're done. Oh, Bats. If you had the thrill for that kind of fun, you would have done it years ago. No more.
And then Batman kills the Joker, but not maybe by like a neck snap or something. But the point is, he kills the Joker.
He gets him in a chokehold and say, "How many people have I left suffer murdered by letting you live?"
And he goes, "Jason, Barbara, the people of Gotham, not one more."
I never kept count. I did. I know, and I love you for it.
And then neck snap.
See, Betsy, after all these years, I won.
Are you doing the Dark Knight Returns thing where then the Joker snaps his own neck?
Yep.
Nice. I love that.
I made you lose control. And for Ivy, let's just say I left a little parting gift. See you in hell.
And then snap.
What have I done? Bruce, he was a monster.
Mm-hmm.
No jury would blame you for this.
And even Gordon's a little bit like Batman just killed, and then Batman assures Gordon, "Listen, dude, you need to trust me. You've trusted me on so many different occasions. You trust me with your daughter fighting alongside me. I need you to trust me on this one occasion. I had a reason to do this."
It's an election year, tensions on high. What assurance? Yeah, we could make you a vigilante again, but what kind of assurance do I possibly have you're not going to go off the deep end?
And then Superman goes, "I trust him. That should be all you need."
Nice try, Boy Scout, but I'm going to need more than an alien contingency plan to get us out of this one. I do have a contingency plan, Jim. It's the League. Besides, you and I have worked together for a long time, even before I donned this cowl. What the hell are you talking about? Jim.
He reveals the identity.
Yep. Bruce? Huh. I owe Bullock at least $1,000.
That's good. So they were betting on it the entire time. I like that.
So that's Bruce pretty much goes into hiding, and the Gotham's in chaos. Like, Batman's killing now? Holy shit.
And now the criminals are like, "I'm not doing anything right now because now Batman will kill me."
Not even the goon. No, you're still going to get the typical goons because they need the extra cash because it's Gotham we're talking about. But I'm going to need one hell of a severance package, or at least very good insurance.
Yeah, and a lot of the rogues are like, "You know what? I'm good because we operated under the assumption that Batman would not kill us, but
nope, I'm done. This is where I call it quits."
Well, it's like Mad Hatter, the Riddler. They're like, "I'm out."
All the C and D listers, they're done. They either retire or skip town.
It's only like Croc, Bane, the metahumans are like the really, really strong ones that are like, yeah, I can still do this.
We could take him. We could take him. And then this is where Nakano this is where the mayor campaign starts, where Nakano running the mayor and his anti-mask campaign. Because remember, Nakano got a lot of momentum because of Joker War.
Mm-hmm.
He got a lot of momentum because of the events of Joker War.
Mm-hmm.
Without that, and this going in a completely different direction, depending on who wins mayor, there's a good chance that the Bat family gets outlawed because of Batman killed the Joker.
Yeah, which that's understandable because all of a sudden you have this guardian that you trusted because he wouldn't cross that line, and then he crosses that line.
Oh, please. All we did was let Joker ride off the insanity plea again and again and again. We knew what would happen. These other villains were gonna try to claim the top spot. It was a power vacuum waiting to happen. Joker finally went too far. I don't condone what Batman did, but something like this was bound to happen sooner or later. Or God forbid, one of the sidekicks was pushed this far.
You know, like let's not forget. And then Gordon actually brings up my own daughter was paralyzed by the Joker who just escaped from prison again. By the way, at my point, at this point in the story, Barbara is still Oracle. She never becomes Batgirl again because I think she was better as Oracle. But
Okay,
the point is, yeah, the point is she's paralyzed because of the Joker and because we didn't go because this entire time we essentially let him continue being a criminal because we put him in there knowing there was a more than likely chance that he was going to escape. Yeah, we're all equally responsible for the carnage that Joker does.
Sure, the Bat family and them being vigilantes are a good scapegoat, but other than PR, no one's really gonna buy it. There are a few dirty cops that are enabled or more emboldened by Jim losing his favor with the public because of Batman. And I'm like, you've been soft far too long, Jim. You're right. It's about time I made some real change. All Nakano's doing is using the people as a scapegoat for his own ambitions. He's going to make the wrong deal, and the people of Gotham are going to suffer for it. It's only a matter of time. I have to beat him at his own game for the good of Gotham. And of course, this is where Jim steps down to run for mayor, and Renee Montoya ends up getting the job.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. And what if Batman says, "Put me on trial. Put me on trial and let the people decide."
We can't risk you getting exposed, Bruce. You just need someone else to take the cowl in your stead, just until the heat dies down. Truly ensure that Joker's end was a one-off.
So, what eventually happened is that Batman temporarily retires. Dick takes up the mantle, and Selina Kyle.
I'd argue Tim Drake. Because why do a repeat of the Grant Morrison run when it's a dream come true? Tim is the detective. Sure, he's not as physically inclined combatively, but he has external training from Lady Shiva, Deathstroke to a degree, and these other characters. At least in terms of what Batman's supposed to represent, both the detective and the combative side, Tim's a good balance. Tim is by far the most objective choice.
And by the way, if you see like the lights kind of flickering in my room, it's because a light bulb's about to die. Just want to let you know that in case you saw that. So.
And cheap plug, and this is why I also add Damien into the mix. Like, as much as we all detest Waller and Argus and whatever further external agencies in her department, even I have to admit that Drake is the most logical choice. Besides, he could use the rebrand. I didn't need the compliment from you little gremlin, who said it was a compliment. Seriously, I could do Bat Family banter all day. Like I got.
Yeah, you can. And then Jason shows up and goes, "You finally did it, huh?
Took you 15 years, but you finally did it."
Yeah, I love that Damien being called a gremlin. That's good. I dig that. Seriously, dude, you should write a Bat Family book.
Bro, I'll think about it. But that depends if DC hires me. Hire us, DC.
Hire us, DC. We'll turn your entire company around.
Yeah, but hold on. Where's that thumbnail? I know I had it made.
While you do that, I'm gonna see if I can fix up this. Light bulb. I need a step stool.
Justice League,
I'll get it later.
Connor Kent, Superboy.
So while J Heat does that, I'll be right back.
What if 5G didn't happen? Oh, that's a upcoming one. Ah, here it is. Let me just screen share it right quick. Go to present, share screen. I just want everyone to take a good look at this while we're waiting on Jared to come back. Everyone just take a good look at this. Sure, this is going to lead to a separate discussion where we go into a bit more detail. And of course, there's a cheap plug for my.
That is an awesome bat suit.
Thank you. Hold on, let me take this header out. I just wanted to briefly show it off. This.
I love the red bat. It's very Batman Beyond-esque.
It was a nice touch. And you got to remember, Tim was originally a Batman and Robin fanboy. This was being Robin was a dream come true for him. So temporarily taking on the cowl while Bruce is working for the government to get back in good standing, this is a good look. This would be a good creative direction.
Plus, remember, Bruce also holds him as like the best detective of the family, even above Batman.
On multiple occasions. And although, yes, Damian has to be... Damian's like Michelangelo of the TMNT. He has the talent, he has the potential, but he's not ready. He's not a finished product. He's a kid adapting to a very twisted situation in context. So, Grayson's already done it. He's the go-to, but that's only because he's the most experienced. Jason's the biggest wild card, and he's more...
Jason would essentially be Flashpoint Batman.
Or Punisher, or DC's Punisher.
He already is DC's Punisher.
True. But I just wanted to briefly show this off. And Damian, well, I'm not going to say he's going to make a big deal out of it because we already decided we are going to be debunking the Adam Glass run because a lot of the Adam Glass run was adjacent to 5G. There was no way I could salvage that storyline with all the editorial mandate and the setup for 5G being removed.
Plus the fact, even if that run were not like linked to 5G, I don't want to even acknowledge that it happened.
And I'm sure Tevi in the comic section would agree.
He'll agree with us. Yep, 100% agree with us. This is one of the times when we agree with Tevia.
Yeah, one of those times. But I feel like Damian with hold on. You know what? How many thumbnails do I have? I must be psychic or something.
You have so many thumbnails, dude. Basically, you have episodes planned for months and months, up to a year, I'd imagine.
Who knows? But hold on, let me see if I can find it. This just came to me. Like I had just made this the other day. But hold on. Because let's be honest, even with Benjamin Percy on the book, Teen Titans Rebirth was pretty much in synergy to Justice League versus Teen Titans in the DCAMU. The only difference is, go ahead.
And it was an apology tour for the travesty that was New 52 Teen Titans.
Oh, God knows that's true.
Yeah. I gotta say, what's kind of funny is like I love Raven and Rebirth, and then when I look at the costume design for Raven, the New 52, I'm like,
a huge step up.
Heck?
Huge step up.
I'm like, what the hell? What was up with that face covering she had?
And I need to address this now. No, because I'm also planning I'm trying to fix New 52 Teen Titans and just make it a Young Justice book with Raven essentially being their den mother / mentor. So you're not going to see a de-aged Raven in New Direction Teen Titans. I'm just going to reuse that design.
No, I think she would be on the Titans, which for those who don't know, those are the older like sidekicks that are it's the stage before they join the Justice League. So they're at that point.
True, but with the only teenagers being Damien, Wallace West, Kid Flash, Blue Beetle, and maybe Gar like 17, Ride at
Hmm.
18, because a lot of people like the DH because Gar is pretty much the comic relief character. So I could easily see him being post-adolescent and not an adult. Maybe in
Hmm.
a later volume or roster of Titans, Gar ends up on the team, but
Hmm.
at least for the iconography alone, you got to have Beast Boy on a Teen Titans roster.
Yeah, because he's on every single Titans and or Teen Titans roster, eh, every modern roster.
Every modern roster, not
Well,
the golden,
let me put it this
not the
way:
classic.
any roster that's successful, because again, Teen Titans New 52.
They did try to put Beast Boy in there, and I think in the third volume, but by that point, the book was not salvageable.
By that point, people already made up their minds about the book.
Yeah, but it's basically mostly the Percy run with where the older Titans are kind of like babysitting Damien the whole time, to where Damien doesn't really want to be there. He just wants to solve cases on his own. Like the Bat Family's going through some bad PR. Drake is donning up the cowl in the interim and pretty much rubbing it in Damien's face every chance he gets. And yeah, you could say that's petty of Tim, but given the friction between them and how he was snubbed with the Robin mantle by Damien, it's just payback.
There you go, payback.
So that's why Nightwing's there kind of as a den mother to make sure Damien doesn't go AWOL or do something stupid.
Plus, we know that Damien at least trusts a Nightwing a little bit, because remember, he was Batman at some point.
Would I have Grayson and Starfire hook up?
Can you do this for me just to mess with Nick? No.
Well,
Can you
Teen
do
Titans
this for me?
Academy already did it for me, so.
And we're treating that book as non-canon, so there you go.
Okay.
This
All
is the
right.
one thing Tom Taylor has done in that Nightwing book that I agree with.
Oh man.
Eat it,
Okay.
Nick.
That's okay. I'll kind of make it a love triangle with Nightwing stuff, where he kind of like goes back on and off with
No,
Starfire.
it's a one-sided love triangle where Corey likes him, but but he likes him more as a friend. I'm doing this as payback to Nick.
Remains to be seen. But we'll see. But back to Joker. Okay. So you pretty much have this okay, he has three plans. He has three contingency plans after his death. One of which was the revelation. Okay, where's Harley during this time? Why wasn't she part of the plan? Actually, she was off grid with Ivy having a certain delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And if you read the Injustice 2 comic, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
This is where Delilah Quinzel, Delilah Quinn, or Joker's daughter, is born.
Oh yeah, Joker and Harley's daughter. I was like, oh okay, yeah, she did have a daughter in Injustice Comics.
So she was pretty much with Ivy, going for a pregnancy while this was going on. Hence why she wasn't there in the main Death of the Joker event.
And we also see Harley trying to define who she is without the Joker, because again, at this point, the Joker died, and they were still together when last the Joker was still alive.
True, and Ivy always detested the Joker for obvious reasons, but we both know you aren't going to kill me. The moment you do, any chance of anything more with Harley goes right out the window. I don't know what drives her towards me. Maybe she's crazy on her own accord. Maybe I just pushed her a little over the edge. But let me just say, things got a little risky. Joker's just trolling Ivy. And the best way I could describe this is in Young Justice Year Zero, pretty much that Year Zero with the Justice Society. She has all these vines, pretty much grapples Joker by the neck. She could kill him right then and there, but she ultimately doesn't go through with it.
I will say, real quick tangent. If you read Tom King's Batman run, there was this dope arc where Ivy takes over the entire world by infecting all the green foods with her spores. So she essentially has control over the Justice League.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And Batman and Catwoman are the only ones not under her control. It's so good.
I might save that for a Batcat event.
Again, this is why I say Tom King's Batman is not that bad. It's got so many great stories like that.
When editorial's not holding him back.
When editorial's not holding him back, Tom King is a master. I just read Mr. Miracle. Really good.
Really good. Really good. But even if okay, so even if Bruce is not no longer Batman for the foreseeable future, where does he go other than doing recon and odd jobs for Waller and the government?
I would imagine him being an advisor for the government when it comes to metahumans and like countering metahumans, because remember, he's an expert at looking at a metahuman and determining their weakness, as in like and we reference like Tower Babel and such.
So like a Nick Fury type role.
Yeah, and what we could do is that we could make it where all of a sudden all the bad guys start like vanishing because Batman created contingency plans for all of them and the government's enacting them. Like all of a sudden, like Reverse Flash, Cheetah, they start like disappearing and ending up in like a government super prison.
Basically. But how do we deal with the Batcat dilemma?
Why not? At that point, he's not Batman anymore for right now, and so he's free to pursue his relationship with Selina. So and we'll say he uses his position to basically get her a pardon, a full pardon.
But can we honestly say Selina? As much as I could see Bruce doing that, can we honestly say Selina's going to finally just settle?
She kind of did in the Tom King run until someone screwed with her head.
I could see that. I just don't see her doing like what Black Cat did with Marvel, where she's actually just willing to go completely straight for Bruce. Because Black Cat
would still be morally ambiguous as an anti-hero, but she would at least try for Bruce.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point.
Plus, this way, Bruce is not exactly like dealing with it alone, because I think at this point, Alfred's dead. Oh, wait. Are we keeping the dead Alfred thing?
No, we are completely removing.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Just want to make sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because we're completely eliminating everything 5G. So the way I would imagine it is that he gets with Catwoman because part of the thing that was keeping them apart is his role as Batman. Now that he's no longer doing that, he's trying to go for like a change and sort of like refinding himself, because he essentially has to like re-become Batman after killing the Joker. So this is his chance for a do-over and undo a lot of the mistakes he made his first run. So he's like, I pushed people away. I'm sorry. Let's be together.
True. Okay, I can see that. But now that we're going with I just want to, to tie into Teen Titans briefly. Mm-hmm. We still have Talia, the Shadows, and even with Mother Soul, the League of Lazarus. Mm-hmm. Talia's not really going to do anything because, well, Talia's kind of accepted at this point. Bruce is not actively being Batman and is sanctioned by the government, so he can't investigate her without proper clearance anyway. Mm-hmm. Talia be a bit miffed, and she might start banter she might antagonize Selina from time to time, but typical baby mama drama is not going to go too farther than that.
Yeah, she would be jealous because she still loves Bruce, but I get the feeling that ultimately she would want Bruce to be happy.
Ultimately. And I feel like if we're factoring like everything that happened with Heretic, because I just can't salvage the story as is because so much of it was integral to 5G. But I can still keep Heretic and the League of Lazarus as villains. Mother Soul just
because remember, Heretic was even a pre-New 52 villain, so we could still use them.
Yeah, we could still use him.
In other words, he's not integral to. He's not tied like only to 5G.
No, he was just repurposed to set up 5G, and Damian became turning evil.
Yeah, which thank God we're eliminating 5G, but that's besides the point.
But I still so Heretic, everyone, because Heretic, picks up magic from Elias, and of course the League of Lazarus with Mother Soul, disguises himself as Damian and pretty much blows up Wayne Manor, but not before killing Alfred, particularly with a sword.
Oh, so now we're doing the death of Alfred.
Yeah, to an extent, not to where it's like, okay, this is editorially mandated and we're just milking it and we're just making a cash grab out of it. I'm actually trying to make that in of itself the storyline.
And what we could say, here's what we can do. We can make that's what inspires Bruce to take up the cowl again, mirroring the death of his parents and inspiring him to become Batman the first time.
And it's essentially a rematch between Batman and Heretic after a brief Batman versus Robin mini arc with Tim versus Damian. Like Damian was like,
Yeah.
"No, I didn't do it. I was with Grayson in Jump City, San Francisco, and the Titans. It was obviously Heretic shape shifting as me."
And then Damian goes, "Why would I kill Alfred?"
Out of all people.
Yeah, and then we would have this arc where like Batman can hold his own against Heretic, but I don't see him actually like winning that easily. Like he's bruised, he's battered, and then Heretic goes, "You could never beat me alone." And then Batman goes, "What made you think I came alone?" The entire Bat family shows up and fights alongside Batman because again, we're showing that Batman has learned that you can't do everything by yourself. So this new Batman is essentially learning to rely on his family now because he has this entire team of badasses with him.
True, and then like Damien's completely disillusioned at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I get that I was unwanted. I get that you never trust me. I have literal bad blood. But when it mattered most, the fallout of when the Batcave and the manor was destroyed, Alfred's death, the first thing all of you did was play the victim and project towards me. I can't trust you people anymore. And if we can't find a way to be effective without pointing fingers every time there's a setback, then I don't belong here.
That works. And then what we could do, that could be like, we could have like, that could lead into a Robin series where he like travels the world trying to find his own way and trying to find like his place in the DC universe if he's not going to be with the Bat family.
And I'd argue he'd pick up his old Redbird costume from Batman Inc., which I am technically, okay, new direction itself with the Scion verse, but I also used a similar name where we focus on, more canon material, where we focus on particular characters. And let me just go ahead and pull this up. God, for some reason, I might be able to see the future. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. You might be clairvoyant.
Maybe. But, hold on, where did I put it? Yeah, this was going to be a character piece.
Nice. I like that Robin suit.
Yeah, it's essentially made from rags, but it's pretty solid for what it is. It's a solid suit.
Mm-hmm. That looks really good.
And then we get a call back to Batman Inc. with Redbird. Maybe Damian teams up with Ghostmaker for a while.
That would work for me.
But I just feel like, and although we are going to go into more detail with this, with what if 5G didn't happen, and
what if Bendis never came to DC,
and a part 2 of this video, probably this Sunday or sometime next week, where we talk about, it's kind of like Fear State, but with none of the 5G baggage. Let me just go ahead and pull that one up too.
And by the way, Tevia, yes, we would do a Super Sons book, a short Super Sons series. Because we know you're going to put in the comments, do a Super Sun series.
Yes, because technically with 5G, or at least the merit to go ahead and set up 5G, the age up didn't happen. So I can at least
because remember, this is existing also in the universe. Where our editorial is in the universe where Bendis never came to DC, so that was never an issue.
Okay, where did I put it? What if 5G didn't happen?
So much. We have to do the Bendis point as a live stream.
Definitely. Making that pre-recorded would be such a waste of potential.
Yeah, so we can get people interacting and bring up, what do you want eliminated from the canon?
Oh man, that one's gonna be fun.
I honestly, I can't believe it took us that long to as many times as we complain about Bendis on our channels. I can't believe it took us this long in this New Direction channel to come up with that.
And I'm like, we just happen to be going back and forth, like, speaking of Bendis, what if he didn't go to DC? And I'm just like, it took us this long to come up with this?
I know, right? It took us murdering the Justice League to come up with this.
And, oh, man. And if you're curious about that, I would definitely recommend playing catch up because, oh, man, Thor versus the Justice League.
Comic accurate. I mean,
mythologically accurate Thor.
Yeah. Not the comic soy boy.
Yeah, the last thing we need is a licensing dispute.
Because Thor does exist in DC also.
a more mythologically accurate version of him, but he does.
Mm-hmm. And he is just as much of a badass.
Like, could have sworn timeline explained. New Trinity. That's the Wonder Woman 800 review. I must have saved it as something else, but Superman and Wonder Woman Rebirth. The Butler that raised the bad. That's Alfred. The Brave and the Bold. Green Arrow, Black Canary. Trouble in Vertigo. I'm sure it'll turn up, but basically, this Sunday where we talk, bring all the villains banding together to fill the power vacuum from Joker's death, and it gets pretty crazy. It gets pretty crazy.
Oh, that's an understatement.
We Bat Fate, Aqualad and Tempest, Bendis Point. Where is it? Hold on, let me try something.
So while he does that, I will bring up that another component that I think would be interesting is how the Court of Owls link into this little idea.
I feel like because New Direction kind of replaces DC YOU after Convergence, so a lot of the early New 52 material would be vaguely the same.
Yeah, in other words, like the Court of Owls storyline and everything happened, and that looks super dope.
Yeah, that's more than like this is going to be the second part to this, basically.
Yeah, and essentially, this is going to be the first time Gotham is taken over by a villain, not like the fourth time.
No jokes and riddles, no City of Bane, no Gotham War, which is coming up in August. I mean, we already have this huge event with the nightmares and all this coming up in August. And God, so many tie-ins. And you're trying to do like a mini crossover. I get that it's short, but like it's just Batman overload just to get us to September.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not here to rant about canon right now. But back to the main topic. Joker sets a the death of the Joker, and we're not going to bring him back. He's going to stay dead, at least for a while.
Yeah, like for a significant amount of time.
And the run ends with James Gordon Jr. stumbling upon the Arkham, pretty much the garden they have in Arkham Asylum. He has a coughing fit, which slowly leads to a cackle.
Yeah. For those that don't know, and like I think it was the Tinian run or like one of the more recent Batman runs, they established that Jim Gordon has this psychotic son, a sadistic son named James Gordon, and what we're doing is we're making him the replacement Joker.
Think of it more as Return of the Joker.
Yeah, Joker.
We're just using James instead of Tim Drake because, yeah, I can't see blatantly ripping that. No. There were specific circumstances why Tim got captured the way he did, and I could not justify that in comics canon.
Yeah,
Jason maybe, but that would have been on the nose.
And plus, they already tried that in 3 Jokers, and they didn't even go through with it.
Pretty much. Editorial always getting in the way of a good story.
Sometimes you just can't tell a good story. I had to. If you guys know what I'm referencing, you know the joke.
Oh.
That came to my mind. I could not help myself.
I know you've been holding that one in, buddy. I know you've been holding that one in.
Let's be honest. That's a concern.
Oh man. And okay, we talked about the Joker. We talked about we're going to talk about more Sunday with Scarecrow.
Honestly, one more thing I think we should do is that obviously in terms of Jason, at this point, I think we would have him just go back with Bizarro and Artemis and just have more adventures because I think that series I would leave relatively untouched because that was an awesome series.
Yeah, Dark Trinity and the Outlaw, Jason, Red Hood and the Outlaws. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe they can be part of a covert team of their own later down the
Yeah.
line. But yeah, Red Hood and the Outlaws remains untouched. Damian pretty much leaves the Bat family and the superhero community for a while after pretty much being the emotional scapegoat for Alfred's death. Even though anyone and their mother could tell you if you actually investigate the crime scene that it was Heretic.
Hmm.
Would Damien still compete in the League of Lazarus, the tournament in his Robin solo book? Maybe,
Maybe.
because I mean, I could see. Okay, the run itself is just Shadow War was kind of meh. Then you get into Batman versus Robin, which we're kind of already using to set up Damien versus Tim in reaction to Alfred's death, and I just feel like covering Neza would be a retread.
Yeah. Well, the one book we are going to keep around for per se would be the World's Finest book. Is just would modify it so it's like New 52 Clark and Bruce.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty wholesome. I have nothing against Mark Waid on World's Finest. That's pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I just realized we have done nothing with Kara Supergirl.
That comes later.
What did you have in mind?
I was thinking maybe we have a whole she gets captured by Darkseid.
Oh, so you debut her later and then with Darkseid. Okay.
Yeah.
We could do that. I was thinking more something akin to Galatea, but we could do that.
We could do that too, I mean, but and that would be our origin for Power Girl.
Because remember, the only Power Girl we've seen so far is the one from Earth 2 who briefly crossed over. Tom Taylor's Earth 2 saga remains relatively the same. So you have an Earth 2 Power Girl who crossed over, and then you get the main Power Girl later on with Galatea, who's essentially, at least from the DCAU, is a clone of Kara. She's essentially Connor Kent, but with Kara, but based on Kara instead of Clark.
Yeah, and essentially she was the DCAU Power Girl, particularly if you look at her costume. Yeah, I know what you were going for.
Yeah, yeah. But would Clark, because you already have Hippolyta, she's leaving with the Green Lantern Corps. So would Clark and would Scion? God, I keep referring him as Scion. God, we already established
that. We'll
explain
that.
Yeah, we're gonna explain that.
Mm-hmm.
But would New 52 Superman and Wonder Woman have another kid while Hippolyta's in space?
They could.
Maybe name him Hunter.
Oh, I like that. Yes, I know exactly what you're referencing, and yes, we would do that. That is a fantastic idea.
Okay, so after Gods Among Us, which is God Killer in the Justice League versus Thor, we have technically three main casualties: the death of a Superman, Hawkgirl losing her wings, Barry getting crippled, and a king is slain. Hopefully Mara doesn't turd the ocean seabed.
Oh my gosh! I love how now Mara's entire character, even the comics, is influenced by that. Oh jeez.
Oh man, hold on.
That was so good.
This is what I did plan. Hold on. This is
oh
what I
my
did.
gosh.
Let me see where I missed it. Hold on. Keep going. Hopefully I can find it. Like I just saw it like a few minutes ago. Baker, Jen, Red Arrow. Oh. All right, let me just screen share this right quick. Last one I'm going to show.
Yeah. Because Mara angry. There's a reason why in Blackest Night she became a Red Lantern.
Very much so. And whether or not we're going to say, okay, Arthur isn't dead. I want to clarify this right now. Arthur Curry is not dead.
He's
But
just
after what
messed up.
really, really messed up, like, and the fact that Thor is the god of lightning and Aquaman is half Atlantean, he was essentially boiled alive.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pretty much deposed for the majority of it, if not all of his physical recovery. Mara
Yeah.
takes up the throne, but of course, Mara is obviously pissed off. Cersei's twisting the pot with the Greek pantheon. Loki's running about waiting to be captured by Argus. And now Ocean Master Orm is like, you need a king. All I have is a consort raging across the seven seas. What Atlantis and by extension the ocean needs is a ruler who knows the customs, who can be a beacon to keep. Because okay, I'm just basing this off New 52 Orm. That even if his actions was misguided from Arthur's leadership and his own contingency plans, remember from the original Throne of Atlantis, not the Decamu version, which made an origin story.
Yeah.
He was misguided, but after his time in prison, he reflected like, okay, I can't just force my will on others. I can't just lash out at those that disagree with me or if I have grievance with. I have to be accommodating. I have to be cordial. Mara is a grieving woman worried for her husband, essentially trying to start a proxy war with one, if not multiple pantheons. All she's doing is just lashing out. And like, I'm trying to reason with you, Mara. I don't want to duel you over this. I have no desire for the throne anymore. But he reluctantly has to duel her because, let's be honest, Mara, at least by confirmation bias, sees through Orm's bullshit. He's never going to let his desire or his entitlement for the throne go. He may have matured a bit, but he's always going to want the throne deep down.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll cover that when we cover that topic. A bit of a short one, but I think this was a good discussion.
It was a really good one, yeah. Because remember, this is split into 2 parts, so the next one's gonna get really scary, pun intended.
Definitely, definitely. But until then, like, comment, and subscribe, and Wonder Bad.